Hello, I'm Amara Jones, and today is Monday, February 9th. This is Caffeine TV, your daily news brief, here to take you through 3 headline numbers in just 3 minutes, giving you a different take on everything from housing policy to the Real Housewives. The first number up today is 67. That's the number of counties there are in the state of Alabama, with a probate judge in each one in charge of issuing marriage licenses. But last night, the Chief Justice of that state, Roy Moore, issued an order to those probate judges to not begin to issue gay marriage licenses, as they are under federal court order to do beginning today. Yep, that's right. The state, which is at the heart of the events in the movie Selma, and whose governor in the 1960s, George S. Wallace, literally stood in the schoolhouse door to prevent blacks from going to school with whites, he too, under a federal court order, strikes again. Now, if the probate judges end up following the orders of the Chief Justice, they'll end up dashing the hopes of couples who wish to marry today, like Tori Sisson and Shantae Moore, two black lesbians in their early 20s who spent the night outside of the Montgomery courthouse in order to do so. Now, we shouldn't necessarily be surprised by the actions of the Chief Justice in the early 2000s. He was ordered by the federal government to take the 10 Commandments down from his courtroom, but fought them on doing so. He was eventually thrown out by the voters, but has clawed his way back to power. Well, we can't say that the Chief Justice doesn't have the courage of his convictions, but the problem is that his convictions collide with the constitutional rights of other people. But all of this just goes to show that the events depicted in the movie Selma aren't as long ago as we wish to think. The next number up today is 4. That's the most number of Grammy Awards awarded last night. 22-year-old soul singer Sam Smith walked away with a number of Grammy statuettes, including Best New Artist and Record of the Year. But aside from Sam Smith, the Grammys were plagued by a number of offbeat moments. Kanye West almost reprised his role of award show interrupter when he charged the stage when Beck was announced as the winner of the Album of the Year instead of Beyonce. And backstage in an interview with his sister-in-law, Chloe, he said that the awarding of Beck of Album of the Year was, quote, disrespectful, close quote, and said that Beck should give the award to Beyonce. And later that night, Beyonce shows that she really does want y'all to bow down by sharp elbowing out of the way lettucey for her to sing Precious Lord, Take My Hand, but she did so in a see-through dress that left little to the imagination. Now, the stunts and shows last night, which included a number of really solid performances, can't overshadow the fact that the music industry is fading. As a matter of fact, revenues in the music industry are half what they were just 10 years ago, and that's all being accelerated by streaming, in which top artists can be paid as little as $90 for 100,000 of their songs that are streamed over the internet. So perhaps all of the antics last night were because the ground under the artist's feet is slipping away. The last number up today is 10 million. That's the number of people who watch the NBC Nightly News each evening with Brian Williams. But this evening, they won't be able to see him in the chair. That's because he's taken a leave of absence as NBC investigates the claims of whether or not he was really shot down in Iraq in a helicopter, as he claims. Now, in the wake of the revelation of whether or not that may or may not be true, there have been other questionings of his descriptions of events during Hurricane Katrina. He claimed that he saw a dead body floating down the street in the French Quarter in New Orleans, but the French Quarter wasn't flooded out. And he also claimed that when he was 17, he was robbed at gunpoint in his small, bucolic New Jersey town of Red Bank, but the residents there said it never happened. And one resident called him, quote, a liar, close quote. Well, let's just hope that all of this is just a giant misunderstanding and that Brian Williams will be back on air soon. But if he isn't, he has a career possibly as a fiction writer.